If you guys can't tell already, I am a massive Matrix fan, as I have been so incredibly excited to be able to watch the brand new Matrix Resurrections movie 2 days early in the cinema before it hits theaters and on HBO Max. I should probably take these glasses off because they might be a little bit distracting, so let's get to it. Welcome back, film fans. This is Let's Be Real Brad. Today in the channel, I want to talk to you guys about the brand new science fiction action film called The Matrix Resurrections. The Matrix Resurrections is a direct sequel to the 2003 The Matrix Revolutions and is the fourth film in this massive Matrix franchise. The film is directed by one of the Wachowski sisters, which is Lana Wachowski, and the film stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Jonathan Groff, Jessica Henwick, Neil Patrick Harris, and a whole bunch more. I had to be objective as I possibly could because it's so easy to be biased for these movies. I mean, we have been waiting for a sequel to be almost as good as the original Matrix film. I have to say, this is easily the second best Matrix movie, and I loved this movie. And I just didn't feel like the studio interference got in the way of this movie, because this is a big blockbuster movie with a massive IP that takes a lot of risks and a ton of chances that most movies would not take, and I have to appreciate this movie all for it. So let's just dive right into my positives first, because I have a whole bunch of with this one, and I'm going to start with the performances. I think everyone in this movie is really great, especially Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, which I think give the best performances of the entire film. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II plays Morpheus, and I thought he was excellent, as he is one of the best up-and-coming new actors that's working today. Other performers like Jessica Henwick did a great job, as well as Neil Patrick Harris, who has a stronger role in the movie than I would have imagined, but I thought he did a really great job in the role that he plays. But one of the biggest standouts is Jonathan Groff in this movie, who is absolutely fantastic. I could have watched a whole lot more scenes with him in the movie because he just nailed it, and he was stealing every single scene that he was in. I thoroughly enjoyed the screenplay quite a bit because it goes back to what made The Matrix so damn good, which you have a lot of philosophical and psychological dialogue and having interesting exposition that's thrown into your face. Enjoy the way they were able to explain so many things that happened from the last movie until now, because there's a whole ton of crap that we learned in this movie, and I never felt like it was shoved in my face or was annoying like the first movie that has a ton of exposition. But I also enjoy that this movie is very meta. I know you're probably wondering, Brad, what the hell are you even talking about? But the first act of this movie, and it threw me off quite a bit, but I got used to it so well because it set up the tone for the rest of the film and added this weird humor that I wasn't expecting for a Matrix film. As all the Matrix have amazing cinematography, and this one just does the same. It is a beautiful looking film with tons of colors, and I felt like the color palette in this movie is just as important as the other films. I also thought the score in this movie was fantastic, as it elevated these action scenes to 100% level, as I was fully invested in the action. I enjoyed that the visual effects and the CGI actually add to the story and make it more interesting rather than just being what we came here to watch, and I thought that was really disappointing, especially with the other films. The romance between Trinity and Neo is so good in this movie, and I think it's the best that I have ever seen out of all these films. Now, let's just dive into some of my negatives that I do have with this movie, with the first one being the action sequences. I found the action scenes in this movie to be quite riveting, as it was very exciting, intense, and I felt like I was on the edge of my seat for most of it. Some of the action is not nearly as good as The Matrix Reloaded, and I could even argue The Matrix Revolution. There is so much cutting, and I know I'm trying to compare this to a masterpiece like The Matrix, but even The Matrix Reloaded looks so good, even though there was a lot of CGI. Another small negative I have with this movie is the visual effects, because like I said before, this does seem like a smaller, big budgeted movie compared to other blockbusters that come out today. I did feel like some of the CGI didn't look as good, even though some of it looked really interesting and very stylistic. I'd have to watch this movie movie a few more times to see if these storylines or aspects of this movie wouldn't necessarily bother me on a repeat watch, but I did feel like some of these aspects didn't just gel all the way through. Overall, guys, this is exactly what I wanted for a Matrix movie, as I was so excited to see it, and it blew my expectations because this movie takes risks, because it actually feels like it's interesting and not just a boring, bland IP movie that we just keep on getting. I have to give this movie a lot of credit. I'm going to be giving The Matrix Resurrections a strong 8 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for checking out my review, and I want to know down below in the comment section, what are your favorite science fiction action movies of all time? I would love to hear about those. But before you check out of this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you want to, and ring that notification bell so I can see you all in the following review.